Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion. That was not a casual suggestion. From heaven it was the original mandate of the king. And God has not changed his mind. From the very beginning, your design has been drenched in purpose. You were not created to survive, to barely make it, to simply exist. You were born for dominion. You carry the blueprint of heaven within your spiritual DNA. That means you were engineered to rule, to govern, to lead in every sphere of life assigned to you. But here's the truth. Most never realize God is not interested in doing just enough for you. He is the God of exceedingly, abundantly above all you can ask or think. But the question is, are you thinking at the level of your design, or are you living trapped in the limitations of your experiences? There is a gap, yes, a painful, tragic gap between the kingdom potential you were born with and the life you may be settling for right now. You were meant to overflow, but you're operating in survival mode. You were called to lead, but you've been trained to follow. You have the spirit of the king, but you live like a servant. Why? Because religion taught you to wait for heaven while the kingdom was trying to get into you. I'm not here to make you comfortable. I'm here to wake you up. I've seen the tragedy of a gifted person who dies never discovering the weight of their assignment. I've met people who can quote scripture, but don't know their purpose. You see, information is not transformation. You can know verses and still miss the kingdom. That's what Jesus meant when he said, "Woe to you, for you shut the door of the kingdom in people's faces. You were not saved just to escape hell. You were redeemed to reclaim earthly dominion. The kingdom is within you, but if you don't understand it, you'll never unlock it. And you cannot lead what you don't understand." That's why Jesus kept preaching the kingdom. He didn't say seek healing, money, or fame. He said, "Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." Overflow is your inheritance, but kingdom understanding is the key. When I discovered this, my life flipped upside down, or should I say, right side up. I stopped asking God to bless me, and I started asking him to teach me the culture of the kingdom. I stopped chasing things, and I started seeking understanding. And suddenly, I wasn't living off miracles anymore, I was walking in management. There's a difference. Miracles are for emergencies, but overflow is for managers. God doesn't bless chaos. He blesses order, and the kingdom is a government, not a religion. You've been praying for more, but God is asking, can you manage what I've already placed in you? Because here's the truth, you were born for dominion. But you must grow into it through understanding, discipline, and alignment with kingdom principles. The overflow you're crying for is already in your design. The favor you're fasting for is already in your DNA. But God will not give you what you pray for. He will give you what you can manage. And most of us are asking God for overflow while living in disorder. You're praying for influence while ignoring instruction. You want nations, but you can't even govern your emotions. You want more money, but you're allergic to management. Hear me. The kingdom is within you, but if you don't submit to its order, you will live beneath your inheritance. This is not about hype, it's about structure. You were born to be a leader, not a beggar. But leaders don't just ask, they align. You've got to renew your mind. You've got to detox your spirit from religious nonsense that taught you to wait for the rapture instead of preparing for dominion. Jesus didn't come to take sides. He came to take over. And he didn't just die to get you into heaven. He died to get the kingdom back into you. So what are you doing with what's already in your hands? I'm telling you, God is ready to do more than you ask. But he's waiting for you to step into alignment. This is not a season of waiting. This is a season of activating. If you can hear what I'm saying, the Spirit of God is stirring your remembrance right now. You're remembering who you were before the world told you what to be. You're feeling the fire that once burned before fear doused it. And let me tell you, it's not too late. I don't care if you're 18 or 80, if you've got breath in your lungs. There's still purpose in your soul. And I'm not here to excite you. I'm here to equip you. Because once you understand the kingdom, you don't beg for bread, you declare your inheritance. Once you understand the kingdom, you don't chase affirmation, you walk in authority. Once you understand the kingdom, you stop asking God to fix everything and start managing what He's already given. And let me tell you something else. This is your season for overflow. Not because of how loud you shout or how long you fast, but because you finally decided to align with your assignment. God is not blessing who you pretend to be. He's blessing who He created you to be. And that person is full of power, full of wisdom, full of governing authority. That person is not a mistake. That person is not average. That person is not fragile. That person is royalty. You were born for dominion. Say it until your spirit believes it. Say it until your fear has to bow. Say it until the room around you shifts. Say it until lack becomes overflow. You were born for dominion. The kingdom is within you. That means the answers you're searching for are not out there. They're in here, in your spirit, in your calling, in your purpose. You don't need more miracles. You need more management. You don't need more prophecy. You need more purpose. You don't need another breakthrough. You need to break into who you were before the world distracted you. I came to tell you, get ready for overflow. Because the Spirit of God is not doing small things in this hour. He's not just healing headaches. He's raising up nations. He's not just answering prayers. He's unleashing purpose. And if you can believe it, if you can receive it, if you can align with it, you will walk into rooms you didn't build and eat from vineyards you didn't plant. Not because you're lucky, but because you're in position. God doesn't move with pity. He moves with principle. So you've got to understand the culture of the kingdom. You've got to understand the language of heaven. You've got to stop acting like a slave when you were born a son. Let the world chase popularity, we are called to steward authority. Let the world seek approval, we already have the king's seal. Let the world panic, we walk in peace that surpasses understanding. Because when you live by kingdom order, overflow becomes normal, breakthrough becomes natural, favor becomes predictable. Why? Because you're no longer asking from earth, you're functioning from heaven's blueprint. And I feel the Spirit stirring somebody right now. You're not reading this by accident. This is your wake-up call. This is your moment of reclamation. You're about to walk in rooms you only dreamed of. You're about to influence systems you thought were closed off. You're about to lead nations not because of you, but because of who's in you. The kingdom is within you. So don't shrink, don't apologize, don't delay. God is not just about to do what you asked. He's about to exceed it. He's about to blow your mind, not for your glory, but for His purpose. So get in position. Let go of the weight. Renew your mind. Align your soul. Step into your calling. Because the kingdom of heaven is not a concept. It's a government. And you are a citizen with rights, not a refugee hoping for scraps. The earth is groaning for sons and daughters who know who they are. So I declare, this is your time. This is your chapter. This is your era of overflow. Not just in things, but in wisdom, authority, purpose, and leadership. You were born for dominion, and today is the day you decide to believe it. Let me tell you again, God is about to do more than you ask. And it's not because you finally said the right prayer or found the right pastor. It's because the King is reclaiming His ambassadors. It's because heaven is sending out a sound that awakens sleeping giants. And I'm looking at one of them right now. Yes, you. You are not who they said you were. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are not the product of poverty, or pain, or people's opinion. You are the product of a divine strategy. You are the manifestation of a kingdom agenda. Before your mother ever held you, heaven held a meeting about you. Purpose whispered your name and said, "It's time." And even when life tried to lie to you, when religion tried to confuse you, when fear tried to paralyze you, God's original plan never changed. You were born for dominion. That means you are a solution to a problem in the earth. That means you were born with a specific design to answer a specific need at a specific time. And this is that time. But hear me, the enemy of your soul doesn't fear your prayers. He fears your purpose. He doesn't tremble when you go to church. He trembles when you discover your identity. Because a person who knows who they are in Christ is dangerous. Why? Because they no longer beg, they command. They no longer fear, they govern. They no longer drift, they move with intentionality. And if you're going to step into the overflow God has prepared for you, you've got to shake off the dust of delay and start operating like the royalty you are. The earth responds to authority. And authority doesn't come from titles or traditions, it comes from identity. And you can't walk in your identity if you don't understand your origin. You didn't come from the dirt, you came from the mind of God. The dirt was only the housing, your true source is spiritual. And what comes from God cannot fail. That's why you've been attacked. That's why you've been resisted. Not because you're weak, but because you're valuable. And when heaven places value on you, hell assigns opposition. But the opposition is not your end, it's your evidence. Evidence that you are called. Evidence that you are marked. Evidence that you are dangerous to darkness. The greater the attack, the greater the assignment. So don't curse the pressure, use it to press into the kingdom. Because God doesn't waste pain. He uses it as preparation. And He's been preparing you for more than survival. He's been preparing you for dominion. He's been conditioning your character, sculpting your spirit, refining your mind, and aligning your relationships to match the weight of your purpose. You didn't lose friends, you lost distractions. You didn't get denied, you got redirection. Everything that left you made room for what's about to enter. Because overflow is not about comfort, it's about capacity. God is stretching you so you can carry more. More wisdom, more strategy, more revelation, more impact. But hear me, you cannot carry more if you're still crying over less. Let the old season go. Let the false version of you die. Let the limitations fall off like grave clothes. Because you are not called to maintain, you are called to multiply. And multiplication is the nature of the kingdom. Everything in the kingdom grows. Everything in the kingdom reproduces. And that includes you. So stop thinking small. Stop speaking death. Stop rehearsing lack. The kingdom is within you. And when you understand that, overflow becomes inevitable. I've seen it in my own life. I've watched God do things I never had the boldness to pray for. Not because I'm special, but because I chose to align with His blueprint. And when you align with His purpose, you unlock His provision. Some of you are asking for a blessing, and God is asking for your obedience. Some of you are crying for favor, and God is waiting for your full surrender. Because overflow doesn't chase rebellion, it follows order. It follows understanding. It follows those who walk by the Spirit and not by emotion. You don't need another prophetic word, you need to activate what you've already heard. You were born for dominion. Say it again. Declare it until your spirit wakes up. Declare it until anxiety has to flee. Declare it until you stop playing small in rooms God gave you permission to own. Because God didn't give you gifts just to entertain people. He gave you gifts to govern systems. Your voice isn't just meant for echo chambers, it's meant to shift atmospheres. Your mind isn't just for surviving schedules, it's for solving problems. Because you were made in His image, and God does not make mediocrity. I know the world tried to minimize you, but heaven has maximized you. I know you've made mistakes, but God uses broken vessels to release flawless glory. And He's not just restoring you, He's repositioning you. You're not going back to where you were. You're going forward into who you always were. That's redemption. That's kingdom. That's what it means when the word says, "Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, neither has it entered the heart of man what God has prepared for those who love Him." Hear that, prepared. That means it's done. That means it's waiting. That means overflow is already set. God is just waiting for you to step into position. You don't have to chase it, you have to align with it. And alignment starts in the mind. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. If you think like a victim, you'll live beneath your design. If you think like a slave, you'll serve systems God called you to rule. But if you think like a son, if you think like a daughter, if you think like a citizen of the kingdom, you will walk in overflow that makes no earthly sense. Because God doesn't operate by the rules of man, He operates by the culture of the kingdom. And kingdom culture is abundance. Kingdom culture is authority. Kingdom culture is peace in chaos, joy in the storm, vision in the dark. And I feel in my spirit that God is shifting the thinking of somebody reading this. You're about to see yourself the way He sees you. You're about to let go of false humility and pick up holy boldness. You're about to stop waiting for permission and start walking in commission. Because the harvest is ready, and the laborers are too few. We don't need more spectators, we need sons. We don't need more performers, we need leaders. We don't need more entertainment, we need kingdom execution. You don't need to start perfect, you just need to start. You don't need everyone's approval, you just need God's assignment. And let me remind you, if He called you, He will equip you. If He assigned you, He will anoint you. If He spoke it, He will do more than you ask. So why settle? Why delay? Why doubt this is your time? This is your moment to rise, to speak, to build, to govern, to take territory, not for ego, but for the expansion of the kingdom. You're not here to build your brand. You're here to build His influence. You're not here to blend in. You're here to transform culture. The world is waiting for a different kind of leader. One who doesn't just talk about God, but who reveals the kingdom. That's you. That's your call. That's your identity. So I dare you to believe again. I dare you to dream again. I dare you to step out in faith knowing that the ground has already been laid. Because when God gives you vision, He also supplies provision. And when you step into kingdom purpose, you activate kingdom resources. So get ready? No. Really get ready for overflow. The kind of overflow that redeems bloodlines. The kind of overflow that rebuilds cities. The kind of overflow that testifies of a kingdom that cannot be shaken. The kind of overflow that makes no sense except God did it. I don't just see it, I feel it in the spirit. This is not hype, it's a holy announcement. The kingdom is within you. So rise up, wake up, shake the dust, break the fear, speak the word, walk in purpose, govern with grace, lead with boldness, steward the mystery, manifest the kingdom. Because God is about to do more than you ask, and it starts with your yes, right now. And now, beloved, as we come to this divine turning point, I speak not merely to your ears, I speak to your spirit. I declare that a shift is taking place inside of you right now. Not tomorrow, not one day in the future, but right now. Because the time for passivity is over. The time for delay is done. You are standing at the door of destiny, and God is saying, if you knock, I will open. If you seek, you will find. If you ask, I will not just answer, I will overflow. For too long, the enemy has whispered lies to hold you hostage. He told you you're not qualified. He told you you're not ready. He reminded you of your past and counted on your silence. But I came to remind you of heaven's verdict. You were born for dominion. The kingdom is within you. And when the kingdom is within you, you don't wait for circumstances to shift. You shift the atmosphere yourself. You don't wait for the perfect time, you move by revelation. The world has taught you to operate by information, but the kingdom trains you to function by revelation, and revelation is the raw material of transformation. Right now, God is not only ready to do more than you ask, He's ready to blow the lid off what you even thought to ask. You asked for restoration. He's giving you reformation. You asked for a way out. He's giving you a mandate to take over. You asked for a small piece of peace. He's releasing the wholeness of heaven. Why? Because God doesn't give based on pity. He gives based on purpose. And if you've been through hell, it's only because He plans to use you to redeem others from it. You've been tried, tested, broken, and shaken, but you're still breathing. And that means you're still called. You are still marked. You are still carrying something the earth needs. The kingdom is within you. The seeds of legacy are in your mouth. The blueprints of nations are buried in your heart. The fire of heaven is stirring in your bones. You are a walking solution to a spiritual crisis. So don't just survive this life, manifest the reason you were sent into it. I feel the urgency of heaven right now. The Spirit of God is hovering over the chaos in your life, not to observe, but to activate. But you must respond. You must take that leap of faith. You must let go of safe living and step into supernatural leading. You don't need more confirmations. You need more conviction. God already approved you before man ever noticed you. And if God is for you, who dares stand against you? Stop giving your fear the authority that belongs to your faith. Stop surrendering your throne to your trauma. Stop delaying what God already designed. The systems of this world are trembling because the sons of God are arising. And that includes you. Yes, you, reading this. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not forsaken. You are not left behind. You are chosen. You are royal. You are essential. And you are being called into a new era of overflow. I see you stepping into rooms you once felt unworthy of. I see you speaking words you once felt unqualified to say. I see you releasing prayers that birth movements. I see you building what eyes have never seen. Because God will do more than you ask when you surrender more than you've planned. This is not about talent. It's not about connections. It's not about applause. This is about alignment. The oil of overflow only flows where there is order. So today, I dare you set your house in order. Set your heart in order. Set your mind in order. Not by human strength, but by kingdom thinking. For the battle is not yours, it is the Lord's. But the decision to align is entirely yours. Your alignment will determine your assignment. Your stewardship will unlock your season. Your yes will release your legacy. Let me tell you something that took me years to understand. Purpose is not about your pleasure. It's about God's plan. You are part of a strategic move of heaven. God didn't just save you to sing songs and wait for the rapture. He saved you to redeem culture, to occupy until He comes, to release kingdom standards in a broken world. You are not just the answer to your family's prayers. You are the answer to generational strongholds. You are not just walking into financial breakthrough, you're breaking spiritual cycles. You are not just getting healed, you're being sent to heal others. You are not just here to be blessed, you're here to be a blessing. And I prophesy over you, the nations will call you blessed. You will be a city on a hill. Your voice will not be silenced. Your gifts will not be wasted. Your pain will not be in vain. Your tears are being turned into testimonies. Your sorrow is making room for supernatural joy. You will overflow in every area of your life, not because you are lucky, but because you are obedient. And here this overflow doesn't just stop with you. It overflows through you. The world is waiting for the church to stop playing and start leading. It's waiting for kingdom citizens to show up with excellence, with strategy, with influence. This world doesn't need another sermon. It needs a manifestation of what the sermon preached. You don't need a stage, you are the stage. Your life is the sermon. Your choices are the testimony. And when you walk in dominion, demons recognize you before you speak. When you carry kingdom weight, atmospheres adjust to your presence. When you live with purpose, heaven backs your every move. And that's where God is taking you, to the place where you no longer ask timidly, but declare boldly. To the place where you no longer strive, but simply show up in the name of the King. So today, I call you to arise. This is your call to action. This is your divine mandate. Reclaim your divine assignment. Refuse to play small. Refuse to remain silent. Refuse to trade your purpose for popularity. Refuse to fit into systems God anointed you to disrupt. You are not a wanderer, you are a builder. You are not a struggler, you are a strategist. You are not a mistake, you are a movement. And from this day forward, I dare you to live like it, speak like it, think like it, build like it, govern like it, lead like it. Because God will do more than you ask, more than you dreamed, more than you imagined. And He will do it through you. Your children will walk in your legacy. Your name will echo with purpose long after you leave this earth. Your obedience will shape the course of history. And when your time comes to cross into eternity, heaven will not ask how many followers you had, it will ask how much of the kingdom you revealed. So don't waste another day. Don't sit on your gift. Don't bury your calling. Don't apologize for your fire. The world doesn't need a softer church. It needs a kingdom embassy of bold, fearless, spirit-led, anointed, strategic, unshakable sons and daughters who live, speak, and walk in dominion. That is you. And as I close, I bless you with this final word: you were born for dominion. The kingdom is within you. God will do more than you ask. And this is not hype. This is holy prophetic truth. Receive it, activate it, declare it, and then go walk it out.